The same New Agers who call for peace, love, harmony, and world unity, when confronted with separatists, for example, fundamentalist Christians, you start to see a darker side to them. They do not appreciate people who will not adopt their New Age views. For example, a major New Age figure, David Spangler, who was in a group known as Planetary Citizens, which was a UN group, stated something to the effect of, we can take all the marshmallows, all the scriptures, all the tablets, and have a jolly good bonfire. So essentially, he's promoting the abolition of these faiths. Similarly, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the influential New Age guru sought out by the Beatles, stated, quote, "There has not been and there will not be a place for the unfit. The fit will lead, and if the unfit are not coming along, there is no place for them. In the place where light dominates, there is no place for darkness." See, in his thinking, the fit are the New Agers, and the unfit are those who do not adopt the New Age beliefs. People who are, for example, fundamentalist Christians, Jews, people like this. So essentially, you see a lot of intolerance within the New Age movement. It's not all nice and dandy with these people. You know, they have the mask, they have the appearance of peace, love, harmony, but in their writings, they do come out and say that there is no place for Christians and people who do not accept their beliefs.
In the book of Co-Creation, New Age leader Barbara Marx Hubbard states, quote, "Out of the full spectrum of human personality, 1/4 is electing to transcend, 1/4 is resistant to election. They are unattracted by life ever evolving. Now as we approach the quantum shift from creature human to co-creative human, the destructive 1/4 must be eliminated from the social body. Fortunately, you, dearly beloveds, are not responsible for this act. We are. We are in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse, death." Alice Bailey explained what the New World Order will do to those who refuse to accept it. Quote, "Let us never forget that it is the life, its purpose, and its directed, intentional destiny that is of importance, and also that when a form proves inadequate, or too diseased, or too crippled for the expression of that purpose, it is, from the point of view of the hierarchy, no disaster when that form has to go. Death is not a disaster to be feared. The work of the destroyer is not really cruel or undesirable. Therefore, there is much destruction permitted by the custodians of the plan, and much evil turned into good." Unquote. Blavatsky's peer, Aleister Crowley, said an Egyptian entity told him Christianity would be destroyed at the advent of the New Age. Quote, "A peer of Blavatsky's, often called the prophet of the New Age, Aleister Crowley, claimed to have been visited in the spring of 1904 by an Egyptian entity called Oase, who foretold to Crowley the end of Christianity." Unquote.
But if you dig deep into the literature, yes, they're going to be extremely intolerant. David Spangler had talked about the Luciferic initiation and these types of things. And we look in the Bible and we can look at like Revelation 13 and where all they that do not receive the mark and the mark of the beast in their right hand or their forehead, you know, are going to essentially forfeit their life. This is how intolerant it's going to become. It's going to be their way or no way. And so, no, they're not going to have any tolerance. I think at first they're going to come as real nice guys, though. I don't think they're going to do that right off the bat. But eventually it's going to get to the point where enough people have bought into it and enough strong delusion is there that, yeah, they're not going to be tolerant whatsoever.
Barbara Marx Hubbard states, "The end of this phase of evolution shall come. All will know their choice. All will be required to choose. All who choose to be natural Christs will be guided from within as to how to proceed. All who choose not to evolve will die off. The kindergarten class of Earth will be over." Unquote. Robert Mueller, previously mentioned, states, quote, "I am surprised that no one has yet thought of creating a pro-Earth, humanity-challenging organization which would put itself in the shoes of our Mother Earth and rejoice whenever humans diminish in numbers or consume less. It would give yearly prizes to people, events, or institutions which achieve a reduction of the human population or of the consumption of Earth resources. The first prize should go to the United Nations. which through its world population conferences and anti-population work has prevented 2,200,000,000 more people from being born between 1952 and the year 2000.
The more you look into where the 2012 ideas originated, and honestly, most of the 2012 theories are relatively new. That is, people attaching significance to the fact that the Mayan calendar ends. And almost without exception, they are by people that are channeling entities. A lot of times they say it's the Pleiadians that they're talking to, or the Syrians, or in the case of David Wilcock, it's Ra and Seth. Most of the time, what the entities are telling the people don't always match up, but they always seem to be telling the same things. And for the most part, a lot of those early people that got the information from spiritual entities were saying that it was a great cosmic enlightenment that was coming in 2012. And so that to me seems to be the most direct idea that the spirit world wants us to think, because it's oftentimes accompanied with this idea that they want the person they're telling to go out and tell more people. So 2012 became significant on the internet because people felt like it was their mission to tell other people because they were having supernatural experiences. Most of the 2012 theories will fall into one or two categories. Either they're going to be, that in 2012 there's going to be some great enlightenment. They say it's a spiritual evolution or a consciousness shift or a vibrational change or something to that effect. And the other half of it seems to be more about a cataclysmic events that are going to happen in 2012. Usually, they're based off the idea that the Mayan calendar ends or restarts in 2012.
2012 is being pushed on the public through books, documentaries, speakers, and even major motion pictures. We are meant to believe that December 21st, 2012 will either be a catastrophe for humanity or a time when there is a consciousness enlightenment and a world shift, a time when humanity evolves. However, when you consult the scholars who study the Mayan calendar, they don't seem to support these views at all. University of Florida anthropologist Susan Gillespie says the 2012 phenomena comes from the media and from other people making use of the Maya past to fulfill agendas that are really their own. Despite the publicity generated by the 2012 date, Susan Milbrath, curator at Latin American Art and Archaeology at the Florida Museum of Natural History, stated that, quote, "We, the archaeological community, have no record or knowledge that the Maya would think the world would come to an end in 2012.
I think probably the most significant reason that all of them are wrong is because what they say that is going to happen in 2012 isn't. That is, although the Mayan calendar might be ending, there is no galactic alignment, whether it be the Earth actually won't be aligning with the center of the galaxy in the sense, and that actually won't happen for another 30 million years. So, and even if it was, there's no necessarily any evidence that anything would happen, but it's really a moot point because there isn't anything happening. Secondly, there is no actual alignment of the planets. It's another thing that people are saying is going to cause the enlightenment or the catastrophes. And this goes on and on. It's the same thing with the solar flares. It's the same thing with Planet X or Nibiru, or all those things aren't happening. And it's very interesting how you actually can go point by point and find out that each one of those supposed catalysts aren't true.
Sandra Noble, Executive Director of the Foundation for the Advancement of Mesoamerican Studies in Crystal River, Florida, states, "To render December 21st, 2012 as a doomsday event or a moment of cosmic shifting," she says, "is a complete fabrication and a chance for a lot of people to cash in," unquote. Many people are indeed cashing in because of the 2012 hysteria, but the reason 2012 is being pushed on the public so much is because it is in 2012 when the elite occultists and the New Age advocates plan to usher in the Age of Aquarius one-world system. Siri Data points out that the New Age consensus is that the Age of Aquarius one-world system will be ushered in 2012. Quote, "It is generally agreed that the actual time that we enter the Age of Aquarius will be 2012, unquote. Could this whole 2012 concept be propaganda to get people to accept the Age of Aquarius in 2012? Eugene Gallagher likewise notes that the supposed Age of Aquarius is expected to arrive in 2012. Quote, "The term New Age is most closely correlated with the astrological idea that we are about to enter a new age, the age of Aquarius, which will arrive around 2012, unquote.